Another ad is out in the race for Wisconsin's governor.
Governor Scott Walker is accusing Democratic challenger Mary Burke of wasting $12.5 million in taxpayer money on a development that has yet to create any jobs. It references a community block grant from 2006 to purchase property in Kenosha County for an Illinois-based drug company. But that company has yet to build anything on that land.
Well, it's one of those where it's $12.5 million that she authorized to the Department of Commerce when she worked for Jim Doyle. They paid a premium for that, much higher than what people at the time said the land, similar land was worth. And today we still don't have a development there.
Joining us now to talk about this ad and the race for governor is candidate Mary Burke. We appreciate you being here today.
Oh, my pleasure, Mark. Thanks very much.
What is your reaction to this latest ad?
Well, it just goes to show how little Scott Walker knows about job creation. This was an incredible opportunity to have a Fortune 500 company put a headquarters here, thousands of jobs, and you don't get that opportunity very often. It is long term, and certainly the deal that we struck has provisions that protects the taxpayer in case those jobs don't move forward.
So you said it's long term. Does that mean there's a long term goal to build something there, or have those plans stalled?
Yes, Abbott Laboratories purchased 400 acres of land. So they clearly had a long term intent to be expanding their corporate campus into Wisconsin. We wanted to help support that, and so we had made that investment. But we knew it would be long term and a 10 to 15 year horizon. But if it doesn't materialize, taxpayers are protected.
The governor's plan so far with his commercials and his campaign is to paint you with the same brush as former Governor Jim Doyle. Do you think this is a fair assessment, or are you proud of the things you accomplished under Governor Doyle?
Well, it seems that Scott Walker actually wishes he was running against Jim Doyle instead of myself, and we're two very different people. I come at this with 30 years largely in the private sector as a business executive with Trek Bicycle, actually creating jobs. In the division that I ran, I increased sales from $3 million to over $50 million in a few short years. That meant more good-paying jobs right here in Wisconsin.
Jobs has been the focus of your campaign in creating jobs. How specifically are you going to do that here in the state?
Well, I laid out my plan called Invest for Success, and it has 5 core strategies on how I'm going to make sure the Wisconsin economy is thriving. Under Scott Walker, we're dead last in the Midwest in job creation. I know that we can do better, and based on my business experience and talking with experts in the field, those 5 core strategies are around building on our core strengths in Wisconsin, making sure we have an entrepreneurial climate where we have more new businesses being started, that we align our workforce development efforts around industry needs, that we help companies export more of their products, and that we address the issues that stand in the way of having a good business climate.
It's something that's been introduced, well, it's been around for a while, but starting to kind of ramp up now in the campaign is the John Doe investigation. How important is that, do you think? How much attention should voters be paying to that when they're thinking about voting for the governor?
Well, I'm certainly focused on my campaign and making sure the people of Wisconsin get to know me, the type of governor I would be, what I bring to the table. And what the John Doe investigation shows is that for Scott Walker, it's sort of a career politician's approach. And certainly the investigation needs to be able to find out what the truth is, but I'm focused on what I need to do to make sure the voters get to know me, and that's what's important for my campaign.
Under a governor, Mary Burke, would we see our taxes go down?
I am going to work hard to make sure taxes go down, particularly property taxes here in Wisconsin are high. But the best way to do this, Mark, is we have to grow the economy. If our economy had just grown at the national average under Scott Walker, our economy would be nearly $4 billion bigger. That's an enormous tax base on which to be able to lower taxes. So that's how we're going to make sure that we are lowering the tax burden in Wisconsin. When I'm governor, I'm going to grow the economy.
One thing a challenger has to do to get rid of an incumbent is point to one thing that the current governor has done wrong, and that the reason you need to be in office. What's something you can tell to voters right now? Why would you be a better choice?
Well, he's not leading Wisconsin where we need to be going, and dead last in the Midwest in job creation. When he promised 250,000 jobs and he's 150,000 short, and we're dead last in the Midwest, his jobs plan when he made that promise, it was 4 pages long. And if you take out the pictures of himself, it was more like 2. And I have seen 8th grade term papers with more thought put into them than that. And I believe the people of Wisconsin deserve more. If you make a political promise to win votes, you better stand behind that. And as governor, I'm going to stand by the promises I make.
All right, we're out of time, but it's a long campaign, so I'm sure we'll talk to you again. We appreciate you coming in today.
I look forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you.